Hello. There we go. Sorry, mic wasn't working there for a sec. We'll get going here in a minute. We got a few minutes. Let me close some crap. Huh. La la la. What the hell is it? Oh, there it is. Sorry. And chat. Where did I put you? Oh, I'm trying to scratch my back. Alright, so good morning. I got up at 5, so I'm kind of awake. Slurping on coffee, yeah. Let's see, this is the first time I've done a scheduled live. It looks totally different. Is the volume okay? You can answer whichever chat you're in. I don't have GJ open. Okay, so we got about 1, maybe 2 minutes. We'll get going. I'm trying to think. Let's see. I have to do the stupid indie pack. I'll probably do it while we're bullshitting. I fell asleep early. My daughter wore me out with the freaking Pokemon hunting. But okay. And once I get it, I'll drop it to everybody. Okay, so as y'all know, let's see. Ever since that new build came out, everything started dragging, and then even when the replacement build came out, it was still dragging a bit. Oh, yeah, I know. The Pokemon crap's been killing me, man. It's walking... I've lost weight, but it's so damn hot here. It's like always over 100 degrees, so... So what was I going to say? We are going to be looking at setup. If we look at it... Part of it changed a little bit. I removed some crap that was duplicate. So it's still the same. Like, this is your 1 minute chart. On your 1 minute chart, we can see that, like, this is UJ and it's braiding, so it wouldn't be your best option. And if we look over here, it might look good here, but it doesn't here. So it's the same things. What you'll notice is a lot of things are missing from the charts now. So... like, over here, all we have anymore is 3% risk and my pip size. The last indicator that I really want to work on and get rid of is Argo Trail. It seems to bog things down a little bit, but you'll notice a lot of stuff is gone. Like, over here, it's still the basic principle. You still have our fast channel, and here's our medium. The slow's been dropped off because over here we have the slow. Speed-wise, it's much, much faster now. Like, if we look, I couldn't do this before. This is me flipping through charts. It would bog down if I started flipping through charts, but now I can just, as fast as I can hit them, it's letting me go through them. And I couldn't do that before. Second thing, I'm going to show you how to, with your new setup, to use pending orders. Reason being, I'm going to show you when price is going to stall out and when the price might actually run. You will get quite a few pending orders open for the day, but that doesn't actually mean you're going to take the trades. But it's nice because, like, if some of the people that were watching yesterday, we opened up a pending trade on cable. It shot up almost 14 pips in 3 seconds, and we were out. There was no physically way for me to be able to be in that trade. The problem I was having with the lag on this crap is what I was explaining is, let's say here was my pullback, and I got in on this trade, and it was a fast mover. My actual entry, due to my MT4, nothing to do with the copying software or the system or anything, well, with the system because it was laggy. So here would be my entry, and I'd actually end up, by the time buy was processed, because MT4 was lagging so bad, it would be somewhere down here. So it was cutting out a big chunk of the pips I was trying to get. So we'll go through what's on the chart now. Quick deal, you could still use it if you want. I am using a built-in trailing stop. We'll start off with the normal chart and then move over to the Rinko chart, because there were some changes to it. Normal chart, basically the only thing on here, and we really don't need it because it's on here. But I think it's on here. God, I'm still asleep. Let me pull this out. Yeah, it's still on here. It's just, it's Friday, and I'm an idiot. Basically, everything you need to trade is on the Rinko. We still want to use the 1 minute for confirm. We're mainly going to be using the 1 minute for confirm on, look, we have a nice trend going on here. Yeah, the trend is not pulling back very far. So if we go over to cable, and this is it on the Rinko, we'd be looking for our entries when it comes out, and if we don't have levels for it to break through. If we do have a level, I'm going to be showing you what to do with it. Okay, so back to this one, really no changes. The only thing that's different up here is, and I did this since some people are having some difficulty, lot size calculator. You can put in your typical stop loss here with risk percentage. When you hit OK, it will give you, up here, it'll say I'm using a 10 stop loss, 3% risk is 0.86 for my lot size. The other thing that I noticed that a lot of didn't have is indicators list is the news indicator. It is on here, but you don't see it except for these horizontal lines. This is the version that talks, that I did the little audio files for. So if we look, these vertical lines are your news. 5 and 10 minutes before, it says it for me, so that we don't screw up on news. Remember, when we're on these tiny time frames, we want to avoid news. It's easy to avoid it. 10 minutes before, 10 minutes after. Don't jump in. So second, let's go to the Rinkos. Rinko, we moved the super slow cloud. Well, we removed all the clouds just to speed things up. We're using the native entry here, basing our risk off of here. I was using an EA to figure it out, but again, that was bogging me down, so it got tossed too. Argo Trail is our trailing stop loss. I'll show you that real quick. Okay, so on Argo Trail, that'll be the first indicator we go through because everything else is in your template. This is a moving average, this is a channel, and in the middle of it we have a little bit of an alert off of a moving average. It's basically our channel divided in half so we know when price crosses it. See how it says GBB closed? It only does it when the candle closes, so this candle closed through, this one spiked up. I hate to get off topic, but let's see. 1, 2, 3 back. No, we're good. It's not doing it, so if I see what part of what I'm going to be teaching y'all today, I'm going to stop and jump right into it about how we're going to be using volume, and we're going to be using Rinko time to help you out with reversals and runs. But anyway, it's the same setup for the rules. We want price to be complete. We want the channel to be below the medium moving now, or the 50. This is a 50, and we want a candle to close below it. So about here is a good one. If we had to wait until it completely came out, we could stall it all the way out to here. But entry could be anywhere depending on your appetite for risk. It could be anywhere from here to there would be the safe, riskiest to safest, but you see you cut into your pips. Okay. So let's talk about the first thing we're doing is once we're in the trade, how do we control the stop loss? Take profit, honestly, you can set it if you want. I would recommend if you're only going to have one trade open at a time and you're going to be in front of your computer, let it run and make your target between 8 to 12 pips. I will set it in occasionally, but this is set up so you can just let the damn thing run. Now, let's take a look at the EA you're using. This is Argo Trail. what you want to make sure, and this will be set up in it, but just so you understand what's going on, it's trailing. You set it to true. Direction is trend because we want it to trail the trend. We want to make sure close only in profit is set to false. Otherwise, if it does go negative, it won't close the trade because it's not in profit. It'll say, well, I'm only closing a trade in profit. And it's effectively like not having a stop loss. And that would be bad. Let me do something real quick too so I can show you something from yesterday and why it's important. Someone asked me, well, if this is so easy, why do you have to have the stop loss? I'm going to bring up yesterday's picture so you can see something. Here, let me just take a picture of this. It'll bring it up. Okay, so next is your settings. You're going to do 5 and smoothed, and this is the one you need to pay attention to, and this is why you need to be watching your charts. Again, I might get this automated so it's a button on the chart for high-low, but I think it's good for you to understand it first so that when you get the full automation of it, that you know what the hell it means. Low price. So we have a channel. Let's zoom in a bit. Let's make this nice and big for you. And I'll just take a picture because I can edit it over there like that then. Okay, so in that EA, you're going to have low price, which this is in reference to your trailing stop loss. So that means this bar, if you mark, oh, hiccups, this bar would be your trailing stop if you pick low. Now, if you pick high, it's going to be here, and it's just the channel. We're using the channel as your trailing stop. So if price is moving down, where should our trailing stop be? It should be high. It should not be low, because if you get in the trade right here, that leaves you to right here as your stop loss. Give me coffee. I'll stop talking like an idiot. Now, why are we using this way? Because it gives us a nice tight stop loss. A lot of people were having issues figuring out their stop loss. Okay, so 2 down. That's our stop loss up there. So basically, if we got in here, what that would give us is about a 2.5, 2, 3, yeah, about a 3 to 4 pips trail. So that's very tight. But if you're getting in the trades right, it shouldn't matter because you're getting in here when it's below and it runs down a little bit. Okay, so the other reason we want to have this trailing stop on here is, let me find it. Find the trade from yesterday. Okay, so this is the trade from yesterday. If we notice, price went down, we took it, and this was a pending order trade. Like, I'm going to be showing you how to do those here in a bit. But this was a pending order trade, so it jumped up 13.4 pips. The problem with this was this 13.4 pips happened literally in less than 3 seconds. Now, that's great. You're like, woohoo, I made some money. But what happens then is this drop here, and it dropped all the way down to, I believe it dropped back down to about this level. So it took about 3 seconds for it to come up to here, and then it took about 7 seconds for it to drop back down to here. So let's say you didn't have a stop loss on, you get your alert, you hit buy, bam, you're in, and then, I don't know, MT4 locks up for one, or who the hell knows, you look away from the chart for a second, and then you come back and price is down here, and all of a sudden you're no longer in a profitable trade, you're in a losing trade. You need to use, whether you use the trailing stop that it comes with or not, you need to use a stop loss when the trace display. Okay, so the coffee's not helping me talk very well. You need to use a stop loss when the trade is placed. There is no excuse for it. If you don't do it, you're gonna get your ass handed to you. See, like right here, we just had a red candle, and what happened? We just shot up 1, 2, almost 6 pips. So we went from here up 6 pips. So let's say this was our trade. This is a pretty good example. So here was our trade. Let's say we got in, and let's say we got in here. We were watching it, bam, and it almost stopped us out right here. Okay, talk about stop loss. So on our setup right now, it is not correct. You see how this line is darker? This is our trailing stop loss. You see the little pink line off to the right. Everyone's been asking me about this. What the hell is this little line? And it will change colors if you're using the rainbow setting. Rainbow makes it look pretty, but let's go in there and look. So I want to change it from a low price and just hit the letter H. You don't have to go in and click. Just click H, hit OK. Now this is my trailing stop. One, I think this is good for it first. We will eventually get it switched over, but I think it's good first because it's going to keep you aware of your charts. So price entry here, price moved down, price came up, did not hit here. With the spread's 0.01 right now, so probably not. But you see this pink line going across here? This is your trailing stop. That's where it's at. Now watch what happens if I move it up. I'll move it a little bit, so you can see that that is our trailing stop. Let's go to, where's indent? Indent pips. Let's go -3 and see if it takes it. So -3 dropped it to there. See how it moved? That is our trailing stop. Don't not use one, or you'd be dumb. Because watch what just happened. So here's the trade we were in, and again, we weren't really watching, and in the time I talked, it went down here, and it already jumped back up. If this was our entry, we're already back to 0 profit. So you just gave away all your profit, because these do move extremely fast when the market's up and going. We're just coming into US pre-trading, so the market's going to be picking up pace. Okay, so any questions on the trailing stop loss? Let's go in there and review the settings on it. You need to be trailing, true, directions, trend. Moving average is your setting. It has others, but we're using moving average. And then you go down to MA parameters. We're using 5 because it's the upper band of the channel. You can tell it the upper band by high, and it is smoothed. Now if we go down, remember how I said that it has rainbow? Okay, so if it's rainbow true, this means this line will change colors. If that disturbs your head, or you can't keep track of a line being a different color every now and then, you can just change it to false. And I don't like gold particularly, so let's use, I don't know, let's use some funky purple. So you can, well, let's use just blue, and you can see what it does. Line style solid, and line width. So if you want your trailing stop to be even bigger, you can always do this. And you hit OK. That now is our trailing stop. Horizontal line, and meh. All good, all good. Alright, next thing we're going to cover. What is this right here? It's called Any Candle. I was using the mini charts, but again, for speed, to keep things running nice and happy for me, ditched them. That's our 1 hour candle. And you're like, why do I want a 1 hour candle? Because I want to be trading with the trend. Even if the trend is down, sometimes, let's see if we can find one where it's conflicting. Here's a straight downtrend. Here's our 1 hour candle showing, because it's only 16 minutes in. So we had a heavy downtrend, and this candle shot up green first. Don't want to trade against that. If the 1 hour starts moving green, stay out of the trade. We're in for burst trades to get in and out quickly. So here's a down one, and look, it moved up, and now we're starting to move down again. So your 1 hour candle is right here. Don't get confused by it. If you want to change the color, let's go into the settings for it. Let's go back to the big one. Let's go into indicators. It's called Any Candle. Here's your time frame, so it's 60. Indicator on, and we can go into colors, right? All your colors are here if you want to change it. Now, if you want to add more than one, it gives you the directions on how to do it. You just have to add +3 to the offset for each new candle you add in. So you can go back into your list of indicators, and you could add in a 4 hour, or a 30 minute, or a 5 minute, and a 15, and then they would stack out to the right. For speed, again, I'm at using 1 hour, because that's really all I need. Other than that, what else do we have on here? Let's zoom out quite a bit. You're going to see blue lines. Daily high, low. So obviously this is the daily low. This is the previous daily low, previous daily high. And where is the little bastard at? I saw it for a second. You'll also see, let's see if we can find it a little bit easier. Okay, you'll also see this dash line. This is our daily open. You can see how price is riding the shit out of the daily open up until here. Came down, and then blah. Okay, so again, let's go back and review just a bit. You can see this was the day. Yes, this is 2 days ago. This is the daily high, daily low. Here was yesterday's low, high, and in the middle we have today's open. What's this little line? This is our trailing stop loss. Is it set correctly? Let us take a look. We're in a downtrend, and the top line's thicker. So our trailing stop is correct. Wonderful, wonderful. Yay. Alright. I'm trying to think if we missed anything. Up here, basically this is price and spread. Everything else I could give two shits about. It will tell you once you're in a trade. Right down here, it will tell you pips and profit. But I'm also using over here is, and this is cannot be included in the template, so I guess it's a good thing I mention it. Let's go to indicators list. Orders indicator. You have to add this from the marketplace. I cannot conclude it because it does the MT4 encoding bullshit. So I can't, even though it's a free indicator, I can't give it to you. You have to go to the marketplace and add it. Right now it's going to show me points in profit and dollars. So if I want to watch this because I see something interesting here, but not on the Renko, I can do that. The last one, taking a look at, this puts off some nice support levels for us. Like here's a H1, M30, M15, and we're going to be using those next. Before we get going and we start looking at actual everything else that's on here. Down at the bottom, I forgot, yeah, Renko time. So let's zoom in a bit again. Yeah, I know. Okay, so this bottom one, just green candles. This is Renko time. So we know Renko candles, they don't move with time. But I wanted to know, this was actually a suggestion by one of the people in my group, and I had been just kind of wanting to do it, but I'd been doing it a different way, but I like this way of doing it. I wanted to know how long it takes a Renko candle to form. Now, you're looking above and you're like, well, these look kind of similar. Well, actually they don't, and we'll take a look at that in a bit. So this is the amount of time it takes for a Renko candle to form. Now if we look, you see a number 1 and a number 3. So this candle took 1 minute to form. This candle took 3 minutes to form. This one took less than a minute, slightly over a minute. And if you hold it right there, it will tell you, it moved. So this candle took 1.4, whichever that comes out to in minutes. This one took 0.11, so 11 seconds. This one took less than it took 0.01. Yeah, it took less than a second to form this candle. This was GBP. Remember when we were watching, we saw it moving really quick. So this candle here took less than a second to form, and I should say bar, not candle, because these are Renko bars. Okay, so this is our Renko time. Above it, what do we have? This is called VSA Lite. There is a version of VSA that gives you a ton of more information. I didn't want to know it. All I wanted to know is volume. So let's take a look at something. What is VSA Lite? It is your volume. It is nothing fancy except it's easier on my eyes than this. This is this. It's your volume. Just prettier. So if you can see this clearly, fuck it, use that. It might even speed things up more, but my eyes are... I'm old. Well, I'm not old, but my eyes are bad. So if you can, you don't really need this, but it's up to you which one you want to use. Now, we're going to be combining the two today, and I'm going to be showing you how to combine the two. Now, typically why I hadn't used volume on lower terms, like I use volume on my 1 hour trades with Itchy, but I hadn't used it on lower time frames because it's really, for me, it was kind of pointless. It didn't make sense with Renko at all. When I combined Renko time with these, though, you could start to see some pretty cool little effects or results. Now, again, these aren't going to be perfect. If the chart is ranging, like we are ranging right here, your results down here are going to be shit. What we're looking for is when we're trending and we're about to hit a level, this is going to give you quite a bit of information by combining the two. And we'll flip through the charts here in a second and take a look at them. I do got to go to the bathroom real quick, so I will probably pause real quick. I can't even talk. Are there any questions before we get set up? Because I'm going to turn the mirror trader on, and I got to go to the bathroom, and then we can continue. Jesus, I can't talk. Then I can continue. So if you have questions, go ahead and type them in. I'm just going to mute, and I'll just have to edit this little portion out later, because I don't know how the hell to pause the stream. It doesn't let me pause when I'm doing the events just on live. But if you have questions, type them in. We'll go over it. If I miss something, we'll go over it. These levels are kind of self-explanatory, so I'm not going to really cover them because D1, H1, M30, M15, I think that's pretty explanatory what that is. Alright, so let me find where the hell my thing is so I can mute myself. And I'm going to run to the bathroom. We come back, we'll get in, load up the mirror, and we will get into how we're going to be using pending orders with this and see if y'all like it or not. Again, I'm switching to pending orders for the signal service because entry-wise, it's just so much better. Because if I lagged out on an entry, like I said, if I took an entry here and I lagged out and it came in here, y'all are getting a shit entry too. With the pending orders, we're set to go. Alright, so enough babbling. I'm going to go take a piss, and I'll be back. If you have questions, type them in. I'll get them when I get back, okay? Okay, I'm back. Looks like we came back at a good time too, because we do have a candle forming that we can take a look at. We're going to take a look at this candle right here. And what's going on with it. It hit a support, and it's about to make its decision. So how do we know something's going on here? Like, how do we know that this is kind of a decision candle, whether it's going to continue down, go up, what the hell it's going to do? Well, for one, our Renko time is above 10 minutes. So, in all, this candle has taken, so far it's at 12 minutes on making its decision. Volume has slowly been going up, which means orders have been coming and going. On the 1 hour, we have a doji. So basically, this is if you want to think about it, it's a fight right now between the bulls and the bears, or buyers and sellers. And we want to see who's going to win it. If sellers win it, it's going to close below this candle. If buyers win it, it's going to close above it, and most likely it's going to go up for a bit. How can we tell it again? Because this candle went up, and like I said, we're about 12 minutes in, and our volume's been stacking. Now, that's if there's a fight going on. Now, what if we got a 12-minute candle with no volume at all? That means there are no buyers out there. So it looks like it's going to go to the buyers on this one. So we'll see, though. Again, nothing in Forex is 100%. This is a good way to watch the market, though, and determine. It works. We're on a heavy trend down. It hit here. And we can see this was the area of congestion. And I'll show you what a good trade is and a bad trade is. Well, I'll show you what we're looking for in good trades and what we're looking for in congestion, like when we need to start saying, hey, let's pause and see, because basically there's a fight going on between the buyers and the sellers, which is going to cause congestion, ranging, whatever you want to call it. So far, we still don't have a winner with this candle. So buyers and sellers are basically duking it out here. Does anyone not understand what I'm saying here? We have a very long Renko candle. We're sitting now at 13 and a half minutes on this candle, and it's still an indecision candle, and volume is slowly going up. So that means orders are being dumped in, so there is an active, let's just call it a fight going on for which way price is going to move. Sorry, I'm drinking my water. I sucked out my coffee already. So we do have, like I said, we do have an active fight going on. Now, while we're watching this little fight, let me mention I did switch to 2 pip size Renko bars. Reason being, it's a little bit faster for entry for me, and it makes it easier on my take profit stop loss. So let's say this candle is going to close right here. If it does, what do I want to do? Let's get into the pending order. You can just find the next candle down. We're going to right click, we'll go into trading, and we're going to do a sell stop. And I'm going to put it down just slightly below it. Now, reason being is this might shoot up. Now, since this is taking quite a bit of time, we're building up a lot of orders. If the sellers win, I would expect this thing to drop. Next thing I'll do is I'll put a trailing stop on it, and I'm going to use 50 points just for the hell of it. 50, 60, you'll have to get the feel for this. But we are now ready that if this thing spikes down, we're going to catch it, and we're going to get our pips. Notice we don't have a take profit on it. You'll want to monitor the trade and close it appropriately. But right now, we still just have a fight. What else do we need to check during that time? Our trailing stop. Is it set correctly? Yes, it is. What do we mean? Our trailing stop is on the high bar. It's not on the low bar. It's on the high bar. And we're right in the middle of the hour, 6:30. Typically by then, price has made its decision on which way it's going to go. But like I said, this is 15 minutes worth of candle now almost. We're at a 14-minute candle. Now, how am I doing that? I just popped the crosshairs. If the crosshairs are up here, it gives me price info. If the crosshairs are down here, it gives me levels. Like, that's our volume, 1419. And if we hold it here on this candle, this one took it's at 15 minutes. Once I hit 15 minutes, it's not even going to record anymore. So we just know that it's 15 minutes. This candle, like I said, 4 minutes to build this previous candle. So that's how you can tell what's actually going on. You do have a general guidelines, 1, 3, 5, 10. If you want it to actually say minutes, you can. You can go ahead and edit the levels and put 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute. You can put whatever you want on there. But we're going to leave it here and sit and see what happens, because this is generally the idea of how you're going to want to place your trades. So what are the prerequisites for this? Now, this is not the best one because this is an indecision candle. But that's fine. If it was more red, then we know that most likely it would be down. But this is a good way to pick an indecision candle and sit and watch. But here's our slow MA. Our channel's broken below it. We do have a definite downtrend. Let's take a look over here. This is Euro. So it's on a downtrend. It had a pretty hefty pullback. It's not pulling back too far, and you can see down here, daily low. Where are we for our pending? It's right below it. So by using the Ringo bars, we came out exactly where we wanted to be. We're slightly below the daily low, which was the last swing low. So again, we're sitting here waiting, but you should have been able to identify, because we have an M15 support here. Even if the support wasn't here, you should have been able to watch this and say, well, fuck, it's taken 15 minutes for this candle and it still hasn't made a decision. So let's put it in. Now, why don't I put my pending order in right here? Because it might drop below it and then pop up. So I want to see, does it run? So does it close and then run? Now, you need to watch these carefully. You can put when you first start doing this, I'd highly recommend maybe you take profit for this of maybe like 6 pips, because these are going to move fast. And if they don't move fast, it's pretty boring too, but you're hoping for a fast move. Once it goes in, you'll see over here our pips and our profit amount over here. It's going to pop up here. So far this is boring. This is over a 15-minute candle and nothing's happened. I don't want to switch off this though, because I want to let it finish so you can see what happens. So again, here is our support level. If it closes above it, I expect price to move up. If it closes below it, I expect it to move down. If it moves down to here, we're going to open up a sell order. How did I place the sell order? We right click on the chart where you want the order to be, which I just basically held it here. Right click, you go to trading. Now you see buy limit here. We don't want to buy limit. Trading, sell limit. Once I did that, what I did is I placed a trailing stop on it. Why? Just for the hell of it today. Normally we're not going to do that, but I don't want anything to get out of control. This is just little things you can do to control it. Actually, let's change that. We'll make it trailing stop of custom. If you want the trade just to run, you can ignore that. If you're afraid that it's going to stall out, like this one's taken a while, the trailing stop's good for if price is going to stall out. If we catch a run, it's great, but the trailing stop, if it drops, say, right down to here, like this area, and then it does a reversal, if you have a tight enough trailing stop, it'll lock in your profit real quick for you. So that's generally the idea. Remember, the idea is to protect your money, so you can use the trailing stop to lock in. If price drops, I don't know, 6 pips, you'll be locked into 1 pip already. So it's kind of a break even. Why do I have weirdos bugging me this morning? And I was expecting something by now, because it's well over 15 minutes. It is... yeah, see how it stops at 15? You can adjust it. It's all set up, so let's take a look. In Renko time, you can adjust. If we go to indicators list in Renko time and inputs, you can adjust it. So you have my threshold at 15. You can put it at 30, then it'll show 30 minutes. It's rare that a candle goes to 30. 15 is typically your threshold. And we can see volume is slowly increasing, so this means that the fight's still going on. We were at 14, now we're at 17. So volume is increasing. You could think of this kind of like a pressure cannon. It's building up pressure, so it's going to pop somewhere most likely. Now, if we look at this one, if this support, I'm not even going to look in the past, because I don't know if these support bars were here a bit ago. So it would make no sense on these to look at them. That's why I wanted to do this live, so that you could see it going on. Real quick, I'm going to cycle through, and then we're going to come right back to that one. Cable's still in a downtrend, but if you look here, it's going upwards. We're ignoring. Euro is just stalling out forever. Remember, if this can't pop, this means price hasn't moved definitively 2 pips up or down. That's pretty scary that in 15 minutes we haven't got more than a 2 pip move. The middle line, again, is an alert. This was an alert candle because when price closed through it, it only alerts when it closes. It means price crossed over and closed through it. When this candle came down, you would have gotten another alert saying price came down and closed through it. So yes, it gives you quite a few alerts, but it's good to keep you popping in and out of charts that way too. I just wish this one would make up its damn mind. Setting, since I know we have some completely new people, here's 10 stop loss, 3% risk, 0.86. I put 0.88. I didn't adjust it. Make sure you adjust these. That'll go with your account size. I used a 10 pip, which is actually a little bit bigger. If I would have used a smaller take profit stop loss, it would have actually increased my lot size. So I use 10 pip as my general base because it's decent. When we're actually looking at a stop loss on this of what, 2, 4, about 6 pips. If this trade kicks in, we'd be at a 6 to 8 pip stop loss. That means my lot size would have actually been bigger, but I don't want to get too much. Like I said, I was using an EA that calculated everything, but because I think it was doing all those calculations and it was fancy drawing on the chart, and it was hogging up resources. Plus, it was a little bit expensive, and people were asking about it, and I wanted everything to be on the chart for you that you can have access to. So if I'm using it, I want you to be able to use it. Good Lord, make up your mind, you little bastard. This is again where patience comes in. Our trade is set up. One of two things is going to happen. It's going to shoot up and I delete that pending order, or two, it's going to shoot down. We hope for a nice run. If it does shoot down, though, that's when we want to start watching it, unless you have a take profit on it. And once it goes to a certain point, I will just ignore it and let it run and run until it stops itself out with my trailing stop. Does anyone not know what a trailing stop is? Does anyone not know what a take profit is? What a stop loss is? I know some of y'all are new. Is anyone completely lost? You can hit me up on Skype in a private message. While we're bored, because I don't want to sit here and do nothing, let's talk about this candle right here. You little piece of shit. Sorry, I was trying to draw an arrow and the alert popped and killed my arrow. So let's talk about this candle. We have the same thing went on here. Now we are coming out of a range. Remember when I say we're in a range, this consolidation crap, the effectiveness of using volume and time goes to shit. But just as kind of a visual display of what we're looking at, here was our support. Now this is a moving average. Moving average is just a bendy, wavy support and resist line. Just like a trend line is just an angled support and resist. It's all the same shit. They're all support and resist. One's wavy, one's horizontal, one's vertical at an angle. So don't get confused there. Don't get too overworked. So this is a support and resist. So this was a support line. Price hit it, and we see that it went up to, look, 15 minutes, and volume spiked out all the way to the top. Well, not to the top, but what happened? If price would have dropped down and closed below it, we could have expected a move down, but it didn't. Price hit it, moved up and closed up, and we got a move up. We only got a 4, 6, about a 7 pip move up, but again, we were in a range, not a trend. So I just want to, so you can see how to identify it. That's what we're looking to happen. So that's the same thing here. If price closes up, I'm looking for a quick move up because it's against the overall trend. But if price drops down, I'm hoping for a nice run because that will be with the trend. Any questions on that? What are we looking for and how to use it? Okay, so let's zoom out a little bit. What are we looking for on the good runs? And I don't see a lot of it here. All these candles here are taking forever to form, so this isn't our best opportunity to trade. What I'm looking for when a run forms, and I'll see if I can find it, is down here. If we look at the candle times, 1 to 3 minute candles. So this whole little run right here, this would have been an entry, and this is an exit. All these candles were under 1 minute candles, so this thing just would have gone right up like it knocked over dominoes. That is what we're looking for. This crap where it takes forever to build candles like this, no fun at all. You'll be doing what we're doing now, is sitting here watching. Again, I'm letting you watch this one because I want you to see what happens and how to use the pending order. We're going to go through another one again. We should have a couple setups. And hopefully this bitch makes up its mind soon. Because so far we're at 6:44. We're almost coming to the end of the hour. And I didn't check on news. Let's see what kind of news we got going on today. Shut up. Sorry, I was talking to myself because I can leave that open and not have this other window. Good. Let me do that. Closey. News-wise, you need to keep your eye on that too. Remember, I have the indicator running, but 7:30 is news on CAD, and CAD. No USD news at 8:45, so we have plenty of time, 2 hours. Top of the hour, bottom of the hour do bug me a little bit because you'll get some odd movements. I like to trade in the hour, not at the top or bottom. But for the case of this trade, we're going to let it open and run so you can see. Come on, you little bastard. And I actually did this one wrong because I read the candle wrong, so it's a good thing. This needs to be down a little bit more because it can get popped by the first candle move down. Because sorry here, this candle, in order to close, has to hit here. So we don't want it, because it could hit here and wiggle a little bit and then bounce up. Just because of the argument going on, if the sellers win, doesn't guarantee me a spike down. It could drop down a little bit and then shoot up. We want to make sure that, I guess you could say, like it's a ball rolling down a hill. We want the ball to start to go down the hill, and then once it builds up momentum, we want to catch the ball and ride with it. Basically, we're following what the big guys are doing. Ugh. This is taking forever. I don't want to lose it because I'd like to see it on video, so I have it, but we're about to go look at something else. I'll give it 3 more minutes, I guess. La, this is some boring shit. Alright, so let's flip. UJ, it's kind of flat. Let's take a look at over here. Kind of flat. So UJ is a no-no. What do we know? Moving average is straight through the middle of our damn shit. It's not above, not below. So yucky. And this is AUD JPY. I like this one because of the volatility on it. That's why I replaced USD CHF with it. Again, candle times here don't look that great. As the US session kicks in, all these candle times are going to start dropping. Again, since we're in a range, the information you get from here is shit. Let's keep that in mind. This was bouncing up and down, bouncing up and down. This doesn't give us any useful information. We're not hitting any levels, so it doesn't really matter either. Zoom in a little so you can see that. Here's our levels, here's our levels. We're not hitting them, so it doesn't matter. And again, what's the moving average doing? Ours was bouncing in and out of it, so we're kind of braiding. That's a no-no type scenario. We don't want to be trading when that shit's happening. This is GBP USD. If we look at it over here, we just came out of a downtrend, so we're getting a conflicting. We'll wait on it. If this straightens up, then we can jump in here. We could try it, but let's take a look again. What do we have going on? We're at end of hour. We have a support level over here to the left. Candle time starting to go up. We're slightly above 1 minute, and volume's going up. So we could watch this one too, because look, there is no candle movement. Let's mark this some shitty way. Oops, wrong side. It's not for this bar, it's for this one. So we're starting to see congestion on it, but it might spike up. Remember, it's only at 1 minute, so this is nothing to pay attention to yet. It's got a little bit of volume for a 1 minute candle, so there it bumps up. It broke through here and went up. For me, it was this is a no-no because of this. Didn't align with this. And let's go to, okay, so we finally got a decision over here, I think. Nope, we didn't. Son of a bitch. Alright, so hopefully we get a decision out of this one. Remember, if it closes green, we close the pending order. If it closes red, then we leave it open and see if we catch a run. But look at volume. Volume has just been going up and up. So they've really been fighting this. So this has been a big fight between buyers and sellers. There was our level. It hit it here and it closed below it. So typically a lot of people say, oh, jump in there. No, no, no. We want to confirm. And even if we did jump in here, our entry for the pending would be down here. But instead we got this candle. So what would happen if you jumped in here? You'd be pissed off because look what's going on here. And this is over 15 minutes on one freaking 2-pip bar. I would be punching myself. Review. We have the 51 or 50. Our channel is down, so we are looking for a sell. A buy would be counter trend. Not going to be doing that. This one candle's taken up almost this whole hour. This is made for some real entertaining shit. It's been boring. There we go. Come on, just hit it. With this much fighting going on, I would suspect we get a nice little jump up if it goes green. But we'll see. I mean, it could spike down, but what we're looking at here is who's winning the fight, bears or bulls. And there we go. So buyers won. So we should expect to see price move up. What do we do now? Let's delete our order. It's no longer needed until we get another setup coming back down. Was that exciting to get nothing? I guess, but at least we didn't get stuck in a trade that now is going to go against us. I guess sometimes the boring ones are okay to learn with. Everyone understand what just went on here then. We just wasted 20 minutes watching a candle that moved up. That means the buyers won, and most likely price is going to head up. We had a pending order down here in case that it did close south. If it would have closed south, the candle would have closed right here, so we don't want our sell order there. We want to give it time to build up a little momentum, so maybe a pip below there, or even 2 pips below it. If you're conservative, and I would probably recommend it, put your pending order 2 pips below. So that way this candle hits, and then if immediately we get another one, then we're in a roll and we're in that trade. Alright, so that one didn't work out. Now, if price comes back down, what am I going to get? I'm going to get an alert over here saying price came back down, and then we can look for another setup. The little funky colored line in the middle of the channel is what's going to tell us that. Again, it will be annoying. Like, look at this shit. You would have gotten alerts on all these candles. So it is a little bit of annoying, but it's kind of necessary too. I can't code it to say, only tell me when, because it's not price moving down, it's moving down, then up, down, up, down, up. So this would have been annoying too. But it's the worst of two worlds. At least you're knowing what's going on. Or the best of two worlds? Worst of two worlds? Hell if I know. What's amazing, though, is after all that fighting, we didn't see a specific result come out of this. It's kind of fucking around again. Can we see why? There's a support over here. Now, sometimes when we have these little fights, you're not going to know why. I mean, yes, sometimes our indicators will show you what's on the chart. Like, if you draw a trend line, a support line, like if I would have drawn a support here, I could probably have understood why there was a fight, because we had a support down here and a support up here. Sometimes you're going to see these fights in the middle of a trend breakout. All that means is big money has orders sitting there, and they're fighting it out on who's going to win. So we're not always going to know why the fights are occurring. It's just nice to be aware that they are occurring. And give you time to sit out and watch what's going on. So for instance, like this one, we're just now about to hit 3 minutes. If I wasn't broadcasting through YouTube, I probably would have been watching YouTube too. I mean, ideally, once you have that trade set up, when you have the pending order in, you already have your stop loss in, you don't have to sit there and watch it. So, I mean, the only reason we sat there and watched it is because I wanted to see what happened to it on video so y'all could see it. But ideally, what you'd want to be doing is scanning through your charts, like UJ. What do we think about UJ? Even if I stretch it out, UJ looks like shit. It's going in and out. So, it's ranging. We cannot trend trade UJ. If we come over here, UJ, again, it's kind of telling us the same thing. We don't want to mess with UJ right now. If I'm looking to get in and out of quick trades, most candles are taking we're in between a 3 and 5 minute candle. So it's kind of like, I don't want to trade UJ right now. As the US session picks up, these are going to start dropping. This is AUD-JPY. It's looking a little bit better for an uptrend trade, but what's it look like over here? Let's make it a little bigger. Doesn't look spectacular, but at least we know we're kind of setting up for it, so we can keep an eye on AJ. Our levels are up here. So, Now, what's one thing I need to do now that this changed? Where's my trailing stop? It's on the high bar. It needs to move to the low. F7 it. Go to here. Switch it to the low bar. We are ready to trade on this one. Confirm. It says I need 0.91 and I'm at 0.90. So it's set up to make you basically just walk through and look at the charts. This is our trailing stop loss, remember. So here's our trailing stop. We're set up right now in case we need to get into a trade. Cable, you little piece of shit. This one's been a love-hate relationship since Brexit. Little fucker just does what it wants a lot. Okay, so we had a huge downtrend. If I would have woken up early, it seems like it would have been fun, but I did not. I woke up at 5, then laid in bed playing with my phone. Sorry. And I didn't actually move my ass until 5:30. It's slowly coming out, but we need the overall trend to change. If we look at it over here, holy hell, Euro just popped. Remember what I said was going to happen with Euro? No wonder I'm lagging. See, I'm still lagging a little bit, but I think that's just generally MT4. We said Euro was going to pop. We were watching it for our down, and look what Euro did. So remember, this was... Jesus. This was our fight candle. Now, this didn't work out for us because it went the opposite direction. I don't counter trend trade. If it would have worked out for us, it would have been great. But it didn't. But we didn't lose any money. So what just happened? Let's talk about it. Here was our fight candle. It didn't respond immediately. It took 5 minutes. So it took 5 minutes to get here. Look how fast this shit's moving. It just went up here and then down. If we look down here at the candle time, they're all super slow. So there was our explosion. And that's what I was expecting, because we had a freaking 2 pips take over 15 minutes to form, and then our volume was up. So basically what we're doing is we had a cannon. Think of it like the little... You remember those rockets you fill with water, then you hook them up and you pump them full of shit? You keep pumping them, and then you let go and they burst into the air? we were trying to determine whether that little rocket was pointed up or down. It was pointed up, and it did happen to pop. Now, I'm not going to say it's going to happen like this every time. I got lucky, so maybe I look good for the video. It's not always going to happen that way. This also goes to my reasoning. Why do we always need this trailing stop in there? All this this from here, this candle to here, it happened in less than 1 second. So let's say you were in this trade and bam, it hit here. Ignore the results on it. I'm just saying. This is why it's important. Price would have shot up, and if our trailing stop would have been on the low side, so let's switch it to the low so you can see. And this is just because y'all saw this move live, so you can understand now that when you want these explosive moves, you need to be protected on both ends. So we have our initial stop loss in, it trails it up, the candle would have closed here. If we would have gone take profit, 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, about 10 pips profit in a couple seconds. But that's if it would have moved the other way. This didn't move the way I wanted. It was a counter trend trade, and I'm not going to do a counter trend trade. But the idea behind watching this little fight happen did happen, and that's what I want y'all to be aware of. Because what happens when that fight comes out in your favor and it drops like a rock, you're in a good trade. So hopefully that was enough to teach you what the hell I'm trying to show you. Now, let's talk then good trades. This is what we want. Now, typically when we're talking volume or ticks, we want a shit ton of ticks. Like when I'm on my 1 hour charts, I like to see ticks coming in. When I'm in a good trade on this small, when I'm using Rinko, it is the total freaking opposite. And this is, I told one of the other guys, when they showed me the Rinko time and how to do it, I was like, that's cool, but I really didn't see too much of a use for it. Yeah, it's nice to know how long these bars take. Price is stalling out. That's what I was thinking. But I was missing the other side of the equation of prices stalling out. Yeah, I knew this candle was taking a long time, and I knew this candle was taking a long time. So we're going to talk about the opposite. So I was laying there watching Netflix, and all of a sudden I started thinking about tick volume and time. So if we have here, we had a fight here, right? So this candle was a fight. Now, and let's just, so I can diagram it, because you don't see it that often, but you will see it. Let's bring this up. And this is going to be my horrible drawing, so deal with it. Why can't I move this shit? God damn it. Hold on. I'm so retarded today. It's like every day. Okay, so let's see. We're going to do this. And I'm going to do this so that it's bigger so you can see it. This is the only reason I'm doing it. I know this is kind of ugly, but oh well. At least I got a straight line out of it. Okay, so here's our Rinko time. And let's do another bar. So here's Rinko time. And let's put it at max. We're going to say we got a 15-minute candle. So 15-minute candle here. And let's go for, we're going to do volume in red. On the same one, we get a little smidge like this. Could anyone tell me, just taking a guess, could anyone tell me what's going on here? So the candle's taking a long time. Now let's think about it. I'm not going to give you the answer to this one. If time plus volume equals a fight, time plus no volume equals what? What's going on here? And you will see this occasionally, and it's important to know the difference and to kind of see the balance between the two. So time plus a lot of volume on when we're looking at Rinko is there's a nice little fight going on. Time plus no volume. Anyone? No interest. Perfect. No orders. It basically means that they're at a level where nobody's interested in doing shit. It's indecision. We sit and wait. Yay, we all learned something today. Cool. So, Does everyone understand wrinkle time plus the volume bars? Is there any questions over it? Because I am going to take a break. I actually am going to stop broadcasting, and then I'll put out a link to I'll switch over to live broadcasting, but by then I'll have the indicator packs ready. But I'm going to stop this broadcast. I think we covered everything. Does everyone understand it? Do I need to cover something? That way, I was supposed to do the indie pack last night, but honestly, I was just kaput, dude. I've been tired. So does everyone understand the concept and the principles? It's the same thing. You can still jump in if you want. I would highly recommend, if you jump in here, it's fine. But when you're hitting a support zone and you want to take advantage of those, we now know how to use the support zones with wrinkle time and the volume. For the most part, you'll see these two match, but occasionally you're going to see time with no volume, and it just means nobody's interested. But again, are there any questions before I take a break? I'm going to take about a 15-20 minute break. Get the indicator pack together. I'll drop it off in the group, and then I'll go live again. And if there's any setup issues, I'll be able to answer them live. Plus, I need to get the trade mirror on so I can pick up any trades, because we're coming up on, 7:30 is some news. 8:30 bells. From 7:30 to 8:30, I might be able to pick up a trade or two. Everything's worked for the signal group, guys. Everything's working almost perfect. I will say that. The last thing I want to do is adjust Argo Trail. I'm going to get it coded myself, and I want a high-low button on here. So it will do the same thing as Argo Trail, but you have a little button here that says high and low. But if there's no questions, then I'm going to go ahead and stop broadcasting, and I'm going to make another cup of coffee, and I'll put the indicator pack together. Cool. Seems like everyone understood it, so once you get it on your chart, we'll talk about it again. I'll go ahead and stop, and I'll see you all in about 30 minutes with your indicator packs.